and as you can probably tell, I'm a basketball player. Now, the tricks I'm performing may look difficult, but actually they're not nearly as hard, and they don't take as much time as what I'm going to show you. Almost every NBA player can spin the ball in his hand, but not every NBA player has a good shot form. That's the secret to making the ball in the basket almost every time. You'll notice that an NBA player can shoot the ball from the three-point line, which is about 24 feet away from the goal, into a hoop that's 18 inches in diameter, which, by the way, isn't even twice the diameter of this basketball. That's a pretty long shot, and you have a very small margin of error. That's their secret. Now, when I first started playing basketball 11 years ago, the Lake Houston Conquerors, I didn't understand the importance of shot form, and I argued with my dad, who's my coach, about why I didn't need to do it, as did the rest of my teammates. Here we are in all our glory a decade ago. I'm the giant one in the middle. Needless to say, we didn't come home with too many victories. I used to shoot, I'll give you an example, I used to shoot like this. That is about as bad as you can get with shot form. As we got older and more dedicated to the sport, however, we realized how important shot form was and really became motivated to improve ours. And because of that, we've won several national and state titles, including this tournament in Baytown in December. That's me with the trophy, still the giant in the middle. Now, this same technique of improving shot form has led many great basketball players to advance to the college or professional levels. For instance, Ray Allen, a famous Boston Celtic, has become the leading three-point shooter of all time. He has made more three-point shots than anybody else. In February, he scored his 2,561st three-pointer, surpassing his role model, Reggie Miller. Now, this was only possible because of his determination. All right, we're going to get started. The first thing you need to know about shot form is that it's all about consistency. You need to make sure you do the same thing every time. If you start with your feet with 1 foot forward, which is fine, you need to do that every time. Don't start evening them out. Do it the same way every time. The first thing you need to learn about shot form is a word that seems unrelated. The word is beef. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about dinner. It's actually an acronym. B for balance, E for eyes, another E for elbow, and F for follow through. We're going to start with balance. The first thing you need to know is to balance your weight on your feet. And make sure that you can jump evenly on both feet. If you're really even on both feet, balancing both your weight, you should be able to jump up and down and land in the exact same spot. You can test this by putting a piece of tape on the ground and lining up to it and see if you jump forward or jump back or left or right. If you do that, you have a lot better percentage because the ball won't go left or right. It'll go long or short. You also need to worry about balancing the ball on your hand. You can see the diagram here. That's for kids who have a hard time visualizing it if you just have a ball and a person. You make sure that the ball stays off your palm. You should be able to see light in between your palm and the ball. See the no touch zone? You also need to make sure that it's just on one hand. If you shoot like this, it's a lot easier to block. And also, it's hard to get the angle right. So you need to make sure your elbow's straight. It's also important to bend your knees. Even if you're at the free-point line, the free throw line, a lot of NBA players don't jump, but you still have to bend your knees and bend them evenly. Next, we get to E for elbow. Most common mistakes are, like I said, shooting like this, because it's really easy to push too hard with your dominant arm, and then it'll go left or right, which is hard to correct. Also, make sure you don't do what's called the chicken wing, with an elbow out like this. You can push it right or push it left. You want to keep your elbow straight, like this, so that it's going to go perfectly straight. The last thing you need to worry about, the third thing is your eyes. This seems obvious, but you need to make sure you're looking at your goal. A lot of shooters will shoot the ball and then watch the path of the ball thinking, oh, I'll get the rebound. And they lose sight of their goal so that while they're shooting, they're not looking at their goal anymore, they're looking at the ball. That's how you airball. Another trick is to shoot for the top corner right here of the square. If you hit that, it will go in almost every time, no matter how hard you throw it. That's why it's so important to shoot for the backboard and not the net. Last thing is follow through. To teach kids this, it's called holding your flop because you want to flop. But with kids, we tell them to wave goodbye. And you need to make sure you hold it because if you just flick it, you don't get a good backspin. And it goes off the rim in a crazy pattern, you can't predict it. So you want to make sure you really follow through and hold it. Now after you follow through on your shot, you need to check and make sure your form's right. To do that, you want to make sure you see a window, the top of your wrist, and your offhand. You also want to make sure that this finger, your index finger, and your dominant hand is in a straight line with your belly button. Now, if we have time, how much time do we have left, Kelly?
You got like a minute 7.
I wanted to show you NBA players who do it all wrong. These guys, we'll show you Wilt Chamberlain. He is one of the best basketball players of all time, and yet one of the worst free throw shooters. So I thought we could kind of critique his shot. Shouldn't even need the volume. Here we go. This is Wilt Chamberlain, Hall of Fame NBA player, one of the most common household names for NBA players. You're not even looking, you're just throwing it. Worst. Then we got Chuck Hayes, a famous Houston Rocket, who has undoubtedly the worst. Look at Paul Pierce in a couple seconds. He's like, he traveled. He's saying he traveled. He can't travel the three-point line, but that's pretty close. To review, always remember beef. Balance, elbow, eyes, follow through. The best thing about this is you don't even need a goal to practice. I can say, okay, that's my goal, and I just practice. The only thing you need is a basketball, a mirror, a camera, or a friend to tell you if you did it right. That's all you need. Thank y'all. Any questions?
You know how those games where you throw it at the half line, you know, to win money?
Yeah.
Is there any tips for that?
That is okay. I still shoot like a little kid when I get to the half court line because it's easier for me to power off of this right leg. But if I miss it badly. So I still shoot like just do whatever comes natural. I mean, I'll take a run and jump and
It's like the Mads jump.
yeah, but that's really bad form and that's got a really small probability of going in.
Is the granny shot bad for him?
Okay, I'll tell you this. This is actually a lot better percentage than shooting like this. They actually used to shoot their free throws like that until they realized how stupid it looked. But if you can do this in a game and get away with it, it's a lot better percentage. But it's just really easy to block if you're shooting from your knees, rather if you're shooting from here and jumping.
That's the only one I shoot.
Well, that's fine. It's a good percentage. Any other questions? All right, thank y'all.
Oh,
I was going to cut my, I know, I said thank you and then I was done. I was like, yes.
So you made it?
I was not going to show the videos if I didn't have time, so I asked. But the videos are so great. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain, he's like
How do they get to NBA status?
because they're big. I mean, shot form isn't everything. You can practice the wrong shot form enough before you make it.
Just like like
These are anomalous.
Madison, the big grade line.
Yeah, I actually had to put them up. What I was going to have you guys do, they took away the student server altogether, so I couldn't do it. So I had to do it myself. So they're literally up. So I'll tell you where they're located.
are they up already?
Yeah, they're up.